Hey, man, we gotta get the word out.
It's time for Rock with Doc Krock and the Randude. Talking about cardiology, rock music, motorcycles, and having a good time. Call in and be a part of the show. Here's cardiologist Mark Krock and Randude from the radio.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing?
What's going on?
We're here. It's Friday, November 1st.
Happy Friday.
Happy Halloween, everybody. What a great day it was yesterday. And we are here at Rock with Doc Krock and the Randude. And we are going to talk a few things today. We are going to talk about high blood pressure and high blood pressure medication. We're going to talk about the teddy bear ride that we did last Sunday for the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County. And then we're going to talk about race weekend here at Texas Motor Speedway and why this weekend is very important to motorcyclists all across Texas and beyond. So anyway, Doc, we're going to talk about a few things today, but I want to talk a little bit about the fact that today is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
The day after Halloween. And what did you do for Halloween?
Oh, it was a good time. So our office puts together this whole, theme Halloween every year. And this year we did a big, the staff puts together this theme. We did Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh, isn't that cute?
It was so good. It was fun. See, check it out.
Look at them.
Look at that. We got everybody doing their theme.
Now,
we got Sneezy.
Why is that girl picking her nose?
She's dopey. She's feeling kind of dopey, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we got Happy. We got Sleepies. We got the Docs in the back.
The three in the back.
You got Dr. Patel.
Uh-huh.
And then you got myself in the center.
Yeah.
I was Grumpy Dwarf. And then you got Dr. Bujold. She's a Doc. So they went as Doc. You know the dwarfs?
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to.
And then we got the Queen. She's Gina. She's running the practice and management.
Uh-huh.
And you got Carmel. She's our PA. She's Snow White. On the far right.
Awesome.
So that's it. That's our team.
And then the rest of the dwarfs are...
down there. Sleepy, Happy, Dopey, and Sneezy.
Awesome.
That's it.
That's great, man.
Every year.
You guys had a little office party there?
Yeah, we had a little fun,
And what did you do? Did you give out candy at your house?
At the house, I try to give out healthy items, but you know how that goes.
Like what? You give out celery and...
No. The healthiest we get, fruit snacks.
Oh.
They got vitamin C.
Okay. You don't give them Snickers bars?
Well, I mean...
You have to.
Yeah, I don't want to be that house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, that's the guy who gave us apples and, raisins and stuff.
And then you'll get egged. You don't want that.
Yeah, no.
You don't want that. Okay, well, let's talk about what we did, what I did this past Sunday. Well, first of all, before we do that, let's talk about the Harley Davidson Livewire.
Okay, yeah.
Do you remember we were talking about that a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
About there was some kind of recall or anything, but it wasn't really a recall.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really recall any bikes of people
Okay.
that own them already.
Yeah.
What it was a problem with one charging system. You know how, like Teslas,
It's always one guy who wrecks the whole party.
It's always the one
guy.
guy. But you know how Teslas, you can charge at home.
Yeah.
Or the same with the Harley Davidson Livewire.
Yeah.
You can go to the dealership and charge it up, or you can go at home. Well, it had something to do with this one guy and his 110 conversion or something.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, they have resumed production. Apparently, they didn't even recall anything. They just kind of stopped production. And they determined it was an isolated case with one guy. And so they fixed that, and it just goes to show that Harley Davidson is on top of the ball as far as quality control.
Listen, I'm pumped because that I think that's a game changer. People are who don't normally ride motorcycles, they're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna try this motorcycle out.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I actually had a chance to test ride one a few weeks ago, and the one thing about this is that the
Were you scared?
No, it was actually pretty cool. I was wearing, I had my full jacket and helmet and everything.
Right.
But, some of the old cruiser guys, they think that Harley Davidson is trying to replace. It's not really that. It's a compliment.
Yeah,
to
expand the market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to go younger. Fuel combustion bikes aren't going to be around forever.
Right.
And I think the technology that they use on this thing is fantastic.
Okay.
It goes from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Jeez.
And
hopefully you can hang on when you do it that fast.
well, that's the key.
Yeah.
But I got a chance to take it around the block a few times at the ballpark in Arlington, and when you go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, it feels like you're on a rail, like on a
roller coaster.
like a roller coaster, like an amusement. Like I felt like I was at an amusement park.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not like a cruiser. It's if you're expecting it to be like a cruiser, then you're highly mistaken.
Yeah.
Because it's not designed to replace the traditional cruiser. It is an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's the wave of the future. It's technology, and I love it. I thought it was fantastic. I got it in the corners, and I felt like I was on I should have been on a track.
Yeah.
And it's so balanced. But anyway, like whenever you decel, you think like, oh, you're gonna go forward.
Yeah, right.
No, man, it's so balanced. You decel, and you don't even feel like you're slowing down.
Yeah.
But anyway, Harley Davidson has got it back together, and they're back into production, and there was really no recall. So
If I was to go buy one, is it backlogged? Like you have to wait a while?
now watch here, take a look.
Okay.
I got a chance. Now listen,
Okay.
listen to this.
All right.
Can you hear that? Pretty quiet, isn't it? Yeah, man. It was pretty cool. So yeah, if you were to buy one, what did you say now?
Is it backlogged? Like, let's say I go in there, I say, hey, I want to buy it. What do they say to me? They say, oh, you got to wait a month, or what's it?
They are. I think they are a little backlogged, but because what they did is they took some pre-orders, and they've delivered those already. But if you can get on the list, man. They're $29,000. And if you notice that you can't really call it a motorcycle, I call it a bat cycle.
Okay.
Because it's a battery.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah. And
now I'm buying it for sure.
Yeah, man. Because it's a bat cycle.
Yeah. Who's not going to buy the bat cycle?
Right. So anyway, the Livewire is back and back into production, and there's no problems with the Harley Davidson Livewire. Okay. So go get you one at your favorite Harley Davidson dealer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, what are we going to talk about now?
Well, we're almost to the hypertension part, right?
Yes.
Blood pressure.
Yes. Now let's talk about this high blood pressure thing.
Okay.
I brought this up because I saw an article that had to do with the time of day.
Oh, guys, we already have a caller on the line.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
we already have a caller. Here we are.
Okay.
Caller, you are live on the air.
We got some eager. Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
You're on with Doc Krock and the Randude. What's up?
Hey, I had a question for the doc.
Okay. Sure.
So, high blood pressure runs in my family. I've, it's something that's pretty well controlled with my dad and my mom. A couple of years ago, I went on lisinopril, and I think it was a 10 milligram dose.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of years ago, I lost quite a bit of weight. And so my primary care doc, I eventually got to where I didn't really need it. And so he gradually took me off of it.
Great.
And but I started gaining a little bit of weight back. And I know that that can affect it. So I checked my blood pressure, and it's crept up a little, but it's like 126 over 86. Sometimes it's lower depending on what time of day it is. And I'm wondering at what point I have a checkup with my doctor plan, but I'm wondering really at what point do you really start thinking about going back on the medications?
Wow,
Good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, and thanks for calling in, and congrats on losing that weight, and keep that up. And that's going to lead us
it's
right.
tough.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's tough.
It's tough to lose
Yeah,
the weight.
it is.
And
It's
keep
real
it
tough,
off. Yeah.
and keep it off. And that's a great question, because we're going to talk about lisinopril. We're going to talk about targets for blood pressure, which is what he brought up. And thanks for calling in. And we're going to go through that criteria. I think Zig, you got blood pressure guidelines there, but the first thing is you just measure the blood pressure and get the values, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to look at numbers that are between 120s over 70s and wonder, okay, do I need to do something about this? They start climbing up to 129 over 83, and then you start having concerns. So that's kind of where the blood pressure fell with the caller. See, normal on the green there is less than 120, and then that's in the upper number. So remember, the systolic blood pressure is that upper number. Then you got the bottom number is the diastolic pressure, and that's less than 80. If all your measurements are in that range, then you're fine, you're normal. What we're starting to see is that starting to identify 120 to 129, less than 80, we start to keep a closer monitored pressure log at that time, because if we get into the next stage, 130 to 139 over 80, over 89. So if that bottom number climbs up above 80, we're starting to talk about stage 1 hypertension, and we're going to initiate some medical therapy and restart the lisinopril. And so that's kind of where we're at with that. So in your case, that would make sense. We look at the lisinopril and sort of restart that as long as you tolerated it. And I'll go into that medicine a little bit later when we get into some of the timing of blood pressure medicines and all of that. But that's kind of where you'd start. And then, as you keep getting back into exercise, doing a cardiovascular fitness, American Heart Association vascular health program, that's a aerobic program, 30 minutes, 5 days a week, that kind of thing, you'll drop your blood pressure 10 points and probably come off that medicine.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate the information.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for calling in.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to the timing of when you take your blood medication, I had read this article that said that it's best to take it at night.
Right.
Well, why is that?
Well, there's a couple things. That study that you're referring to, it came out in the European Heart Journal just a little while ago, and it was looking at a specific population in northern Spain, and they tracked all these people compliantly taking their medicines at nighttime in a specific demographics. That means a specific, ethnicity, all Caucasian and that kind of thing. And they use a particular set of medicines there and found that there were decreased adverse events if it was taken at night as opposed to the morning. And in that case, actually, there was a lot of lisinopril utilized. It's a generic ACE inhibitor medicine, affects your kidneys, and lowers your blood pressure that way. And so it turned out by taking it at night, there was better compliance. And remember, those medicines like lisinopril last about most of their effect is in that first 23 hours, and they kind of wear off.
Right.
So if you're taking it at night, first of all, you're probably more compliant taking it at night. And then your blood pressure's down in the morning and throughout the day. So it's down at nighttime, which is a high-risk time. We found that if blood pressure's high while you're sleeping, that's a higher risk factor than if it's not high while you're sleeping.
Now, before I discuss this with you, I was taking my lisinopril in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I read the article, and then I thought, well, this makes sense. And then I talked to you about it, and so I've started taking it at night now.
Right. That's great. And I that's great. And we just have to keep in mind there are other blood pressure medicines that are dosed twice a day at other times. You don't want to stop taking those appropriately in the morning as well. And as you can tell by the numbers, if your blood pressure is sky high at other times, and it's skyrocketing during the day, you don't want to just take your medicines at night and forget about the appropriate compliant regimen you're supposed to take in the morning.
Right.
And so that's why you track it. We do blood pressure diaries and go through all that. And then, there's, of course, people always ask, well, what's the right way to check your blood pressure? Sitting, do you wait, and all that. And I think that's where, I got a little diagram we're going to go over here in a little bit. Pop it up and we'll pop it up on the screen, and it'll show you, how you're supposed to take your blood pressure. Put that arm cuff on, you're sitting up, you rest a couple minutes, make sure you wait for everything to equilibrate after a couple minutes, and then you get that measurement, write it down, and then do it again at night, same kind of thing.
Every time I go in there to get the blood, they put the cuff on. It says, I tell them, I studied for this blood pressure test.
That's right. Well, as you should. You
As
want
I
to beat
should.
the system.
That's right.
Here we go. So this is our steps for accurate blood pressure measurement. We're going to scroll up there. You can seat the patient with feet flat on the floor.
Oh, really?
You want to relax.
Oh, you got to sit down.
Stay quiet.
Wait a minute. Sometimes they lay me down.
Right. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
Sometimes you check blood pressure laying down, sitting up, all of that to see if it changes dramatically at different positions and so on. But this is kind of how you want to do it routinely. You want to make sure you're not taking other, you want to be off caffeine if possible. That tends to elevate blood pressure. Other stimulants.
Well, they never told me that.
Yeah, well, that's why
because I drink 3 cups of coffee in the morning.
Well, that's why you weren't watching your podcast, were you?
I was not watching my Rock with Doc Rock podcast.
So that's why. So anyway, that's how you want to make sure you get that nice routine and get your accurate measurements. So when you bring that log in to your doctor, there's good, accurate, and nice adjustments to your medicine being made. So it's all dependent on accurate information, right? So
Yes.
you bring that blood pressure checks in, and then we can adjust your therapy that way.
And we have some questions on the Facebook page as well, Doc. So we were just kind of talking about our blood pressure ranges, and Rena Espinoza wants to know what is the new normal blood pressure range, if there is a new normal, and also what are the long-term effects of untreated high blood pressure?
Right. Well, I mean, if it's possible to throw that one diagram back up that had the blood pressure, measurements. There it is. So you see the new normal. Here's we're looking at these categories. Basically, you better have your blood pressure less than 129/80. It better be less than that to be considered normal. As soon as that bottom number climbs over 80, it's not normal. If it climbs over 129, it's not normal. And then you can see these danger zones. You get high blood pressure. At stage 2, it's 140 or higher and 90 or higher. And then you get a hypertensive crisis. That upper number is 180 or higher, and the bottom number is even higher than that. And this is according to the recent update on the American Heart Association guidelines. This is obviously, each trial's come out. We identify new areas to address. And, in the past year, 2 years, there's been a lot more interest in tighter, closer blood pressure monitoring and keeping that number even lower than we previously thought.
Wow.
As far as what organs it affects, well, we're looking at blood pressure dangerously out of control. Obviously, the biggest risk is a stroke, a hemorrhagic bleeding stroke.
Hemorrhagic?
Yeah, it's bleeding in your head.
Holy moly, that
Yeah,
sounds awful.
It's terrible. It's
Man.
catastrophic, and so and you can see this diagram here. That's a stroke. You get vision loss because it affects the arteries in your retinas. You get heart failure because that high pressure system's backing up your heart, making it fail, stiff, and it's not beating right. It's a complicating risk factor for heart attack. Your coronary arteries start having blockage, and then the blood pressure is a trigger for that getting worse more quickly. Big area that we don't always think about, but is very, very severely affected is your kidneys. So people get declining kidney function, they get kidney failure, people end up on dialysis. I mean, kidneys are very much affected by high blood pressure. And then you get sexual dysfunction. Your quality of life with your partner can be greatly, greatly affected when you're not keeping good blood pressure control.
All right.
So that's the deal there. And those are great questions. I appreciate. Was it Vina? Is that who was on Facebook Live?
That was Rena Espinoza, but we also have a question from Vina Cunningham, and from
That's
one
random.
Vina Cunningham, and it is it possible for someone to eventually stop taking their meds for high blood pressure?
Oh yeah, that's like the best. It's like a holiday, a birthday present, and all that. It's such a great feeling in the office when you get with people and they stick to their diet and exercise plans. They're losing weight. They're watching what they eat, and they achieve all those goals, and bam, all that weight loss occurs, and the medications just fall off. And pretty soon, some people are off medications
Completely?
altogether.
Yeah.
They lost like 30 pounds. Their blood pressure dropped. They're eating clean, and next thing you know, their quality of life's so much better because you're off medications because you're feeling great.
Right.
And you're going around doing all these fun activities, feeling just awesome, and it's just such a great feeling. And so yes, the answer to that question is absolutely, and that's kind of the goal of the cardiovascular fitness diet and exercise type plan.
Now, speaking of eating right, people, listen, you should take this guy out to lunch or something because he will teach you how to eat right.
Yeah.
We've been teaching me how to eat right the past few weeks.
Yeah.
And it's the Mediterranean.
Yeah,
type
so
of-
I'll say, hey Randy, if we're going to lunch to chit chat,
Yeah.
we're going to a Mediterranean diet.
Yes.
Place. And so then we can closely follow the Mediterranean diet type program, which is a lot of those components are part of the American Heart Association recommended diet plan. So it's things like things that most people know.
The obvious things.
Yeah, like lean. If you're going to eat meat, lean chicken breast, the lean parts of meat that you would normally eat. If you're going to eat pork, it's only the center cut loin with no saturated fat. and that kind of thing.
And chicken breast. Like the other day,
Yeah.
I had the chicken thigh, and you had the chicken breast, and
Right.
you just even look healthier eating it.
Right. Well, I was like, what's up, Randy? We've just been going over all this.
Yeah.
And then we had a salad, right? You had a Greek salad.
Greek salad and the hummus was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I love eating that stuff, but I don't get a chance to eat it near enough or often enough
Right.
that we should.
And don't you feel clean after eating?
Oh, so clean. And
Like
you know
you-
what? You don't feel bloated or full or anything when you have
Yeah,
that.
your energy's good. You eat great like that, and you're walking around, and the rest of the day you feel like
Right.
energized.
And then on Fridays, I come here to the Rock with Doc Krock with the Randude show, and I drink beer.
yeah. well,
Well-
we're going to go into alcohol in your heart later,
Yeah. Okay.
but
But I want to thank this the beer show that provides the beer here at On Air Media Studios, because this reasonably corrupt black lager from Shreveport, Louisiana is pretty tasty,
yeah.
and it's
I'll have to take your word on it.
yeah because you're on call or something.
Yeah, I just got
Yeah.
too much work. But having said that, we are going to go into alcohol and wine and servings and how that complements the Mediterranean diet sometimes. And when you're in a big, nice, consistent, moderate exercise program, you actually get some benefits from a modest amount of alcohol intake.
Right. Well, cool. Well, is that all you have for high blood pressure?
I think for today.
For today?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on to what I did last weekend.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about helping the kids and helping the charities around town. Last Sunday, we did the 27th annual Teddy Bear Ride. And what this does is benefits the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County. We start there at IKEA.
Yeah.
And we bring teddy bears. And the teddy bears are for the people at the Children's Advocacy Center of Collin County to help with kids and their emotional support that are come in for domestic cases and all. I mean, just look at all those bikers out there. Man.
Yeah.
These guys come together in droves.
That's awesome, man. Look at all that
It is so
support.
awesome. And Harley Davidson Financial Services is another sponsor of the Teddy Bear Ride, and they just sit there and write a check for $35,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that just compliments. And look at this guy. That's Mr. Squirrel. Every year he comes loaded
awesome.
down with these teddy bears, and it's just a fantastic feeling to get all these guys together, and we have a good time. In-N-Out Burger comes out. We have a live band going on, and it's just a great feeling to help the kids of Collin County.
Oh, okay.
Now there's me and my homie. See the big truck back there full of teddy bears. It's just a great feeling. It always happens.
Is that yearly?
Yeah, every year. Yeah. I've been doing it for the past 6 or 7 years, and the radio station gets involved and everything.
good.
So it is
Which
pretty
one?
cool.
Lone Star 92.5?
Lone Star 92.5. Yeah. And look there. Look at McGruff. You see McGruff?
Oh, yeah.
Now I wonder how his blood pressure is.
It's high. Look at that
Look at
helmet. He's got that big mask thing on.
And look, his eyes are a little red.
Yeah, his retinas.
Is that no? Did he stay out too late and party or something? Or
If he did, their blood pressure's probably up because that's one of the risk factors. Sleep deprivation makes your blood pressure go up. Alcohol intake excessively. Was McGruff doing that?
yeah.
It looked like it.
Maybe. No, I don't know for sure. I mean, he was.
Who knows?
Yeah, because
We'll do a blood pressure check next year on him.
Okay.
Well, he is a crime dog, right? So he's a detective. So he's
Stress.
probably a lot of stress.
Yeah, a lot of
there.
stress. And the thing is, he didn't ask me what I did the night before.
No.
Oh, the night before that was, of course, the big Saturday night
Yeah.
where everybody was doing their Halloween celebrations.
Yeah.
And my band, Triple Lindy, we were playing at Rock and Bruce. And you know Jim White from the
Yeah,
Bo and
yeah,
Jim
yeah,
show?
yeah.
Jim White showed up with his friend Jesse and her daughter,
Okay.
Jennifer.
Okay.
And they were dressed up like Dia de los Muertos.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, they were good. They won second place, $250.
Like skeleton type thing.
Yeah. And you know who won $500? The dude, from the Big Lebowski.
Oh,
You remember that movie?
No, I don't
Okay,
know.
well, anyway, he was basically wearing a house coat and
Yeah.
a drink in his hand, had a couple of chicks with him. So
Right,
anyway, that was fun. Also, I want to tell you what's going on this weekend. The radio station, Bo and Jim and I are going to be doing a live broadcast on Sunday, live from Texas Motor Speedway. Yeah, that's right. It
Yeah.
is race weekend here
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
Texas. It is the AAA Texas 500 on Sunday. It's the big NASCAR playoff race. What they're doing is they're trying to get a spot into the finale later on this month in Homestead. So it's a pretty big race
that's cool.
at Texas Motor Speedway on Sunday, and they always bring the big guns, Bo and Jim, out to help hype that up on Sunday.
Yeah. It's loud down there too. Have you been down?
Oh yeah, man! I go into the pits. I go on the track. In fact, I've driven one of those Cup cars around the track.
Really?
At 143 miles an hour. Man,
that's crazy.
So much fun. Look at those guys, man.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big time this weekend. Also, one of the big things going on this weekend for motorcyclists and bikers across Texas is the Lone Star Rally. Now, the Lone Star Rally has been around for, let's see, how many years has this been going on here? Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Like 15 years. It's been going on for 15 years. And for the past 15 years, people have asked me to come with them and come party with them and all that stuff. But you know what it is? What? It always happens on race weekend. So I don't get to go to the Lone Star Rally and take part in all the fun that's going on over there. And let me tell you, look at the amount of people there. There's going to be 500,000 people there this
That's cool.
This Friday. Can
they get tickets now, or is it too late?
You just show up. You got to get a hotel room and all that jazz. But they're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. The Outlaw Dave Ranch Ride to benefit the Stevens and Pruitt Ranch for children. Oh wow! And they're going to have of course a bikini bike wash like they always do. Poker runs, campsite parties, bike shows, car shows. It's just a fantastic motorcycle rally that I plan on being to next year. You know why I'm going to be there next year? Why? Because the Texas Motor Speedway is moving their race off of this weekend. They're going to be doing it about a week early. So
you have busy 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that.
That's how you roll.
That's how I roll, baby. That's it. That's why they call me Randude from the radio.
That's right.
And so anyway, they got concerts. Scott Stapp from Creed will be there. Montgomery Gentry, the Charlie Daniels Band, all performing this weekend at the Lone Star Rally down in Galveston. That sounds like a party I want to be at. Yeah. And then of course when I get there, I'll say, "Hey, how's your blood pressure?"
That's right, because it's be loud and people will be drinking, both of which can cause your blood pressure to go up.
Right. So coming up tomorrow, actually, the Irving Police Department and Fire Blue Christmas Toy Run that'll be starting and launching from American Eagle Harley Davidson in Corinth, and then then they'll end up at where's it? Texas Harley Davidson in Euless. And then also tomorrow, it's the 4th annual East Texas Riders Toy Run that happens at Johnny Miguel's in Wills Point, and will end up at the Red Bull Saloon in Murchison, Texas.
Then we could do blood pressure checks there too.
We could too, but I'm not going to be there because I got race weekend to go on. Anyway, there's all the details on the 4th annual toy run there to benefit the riders of East Texas. So a lot of stuff going on. We are in the toy run season right now, and I've got next week I'll talk to you about some of the things I'm doing later on this month and into early of December.
Okay, cool.
So man,
that's good.
And is there anything else we've got to talk about today, Doc Krock?
I think that's it for today.
Is that it for today?
On Day of the Dead.
Now that is so ironic how we're here on Day of the Dead and we're trying to save lives.
I know.
How does that work, Doc?
That's how you got to do it. Every time there's some risk for death, you ask, how do we prevent this? That's it. Okay, so listen, you guys, we're gonna go now. But in the meantime, if you want to send us a message on our Facebook page, it's right there. Rock with Doc Krock and you can leave messages for next show, because next show we're going to talk about heart attacks.
Heart attacks.
Yeah, we're going to go right into the really high risk stuff that everybody's always asking. Heart attacks. We're going to go into how they happen and what do we do about them.
Okay, great. Anything else, Doc?
I think that's it.
Today. We do have to mention our sponsor for today.
Oh, yeah.
The Heart Smart Group. Tell us how we can get a hold of the Heart Smart Group.
Okay, the Heart Smart Group's in northern Dallas, offices in McKinney and in Frisco. And you saw our picture in the beginning. We got four providers, 3 physicians and a PA doing prevention and all of that. You just get on our website, get up on Facebook Live, link over to the Heart Smart Group. Right. Get on YouTube, subscribe, and get on over to the Heart Smart Group website. Call in and start and get an appointment.
And what is your website besides Facebook? You have the heartsmartgroup.com?
We got the heartsmartgroup.com website.
Okay. Fantastic. Now, before we get out of here, I got to get Ziggy to pull up the picture of him and Melissa, who run On Air Media.
Yeah, give me just a second.
yeah.
They
They put this awesome plush studio together. It's so great down here.
Isn't this nice? I mean,
Yeah, it's awesome here.
You see, look back there. Look, you see our logo back there?
Yeah.
See, oh no, it's just a green screen.
Green
There's
screen.
Melissa on the
Oh,
left.
look at that.
And Ziggy as Uncle Buck. Way to go, guys. Now,
Yeah, that's fun.
it was an 80s theme. Of course, Uncle Buck came from the 80s, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Melissa dressed up as her own self as a high school student.
Yeah, and she looks like 80s. you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, anyway,
here.
there you go. It's the Dia de los Muertos show, the Day of the Dead edition of Rock with Doc Krock and the
In
Randude.
the Randude.
So send in those questions, and we will see you next week, 3 o'clock, right here on Rock with Doc Krock and the Randude Facebook page, also on YouTube, or if you want to go to onairmedia.com, you can find us there as well.
That's right.
All right.
And remember, stay heart smart.
And keep the shiny side up, baby. We'll see you at the races, and have a great week ahead, y'all.